Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys and gals. And I had someone raise kind of a interesting point, friend of mine, we were chatting about some of this, and he said something that was absolutely brutal. It was brutal, but I'm like, and it's not, I'm not saying this is morally right, but the guy does have a point. Part of that point, though, is that if people are going to do stupid things, you can't help them. Like, if people are going to be willfully stupid, the rest of us do not have the ability to help them. And, you know, I've been very, very hard on this carnivore thing, and there's a couple points that he raised. He's like, number one, all the people promoting it, if they're really doing it, since most of them are blasting gear with it, it's a bad combination, they're all going to be dead soon anyways. Like, they're going to remove themselves with this absurdity. Like, number two, maybe they're preventing idiocracy. And I'm like, that's harsh. That is really a brutal way to look at it. But it is kind of correct in the sense of, number one, these people aren't going to be here long term. Okay, all these people who are pushing true carnivore, telling you not to eat vegetables, okay, they're going to have short lives. Like, that's really not even subject to debate. Okay, not even subject to debate. And again, this is a case of, and I see people chiming in, well, they might be okay for some people. You can't say, it's like, well, this is one of those things that you can't say what's right. Okay, we can pretty clearly and definitively say people who eat no vegetables and no fiber, they're going to suffer enormous health problems from it within a few years. Okay, they're going to suffer enormous health problems, and they're going to die young. Right? So the people who are out here promoting it, the Sean Bakers and the Jordan Petersons, they're not going to be around a whole real long time, especially Baker and Peterson. And by the way, I had people who I'd ask, hey, could you guys give me a list of other influencers who are doing this, and they were typing it. Send it to me someplace I can reference it, because my comments get buried on a channel. So Facebook or Instagram DM or something, like, link me something if you guys want me to see that other people are doing it. Because to my knowledge, the big three were Sean Baker, Jordan Peterson, and the Liver King. These are the people telling you not to eat vegetables, or who are choosing not to eat vegetables themselves. I mean, it's ludicrous. Insanity. But, I mean, it applies to anyone doing it. It doesn't matter who they are. Yeah, it doesn't even matter, because they're all going to die anyways from what they're doing. It's going to end them. Like, it's that insane. It's that ludicrous. And I think the other point we come to with the idiocracy thing, I mean, let's just be realistic. Any human being out there who is reasonably educated, you have a GED at least. Non-Americans won't know what that means. That's for people who dropped out of high school and didn't finish school, and they go take a class to, basically have a remedial education to say they completed something. All right? So, if you're at least that level of education, it should be pretty much impossible for another person to convince you that vegetables are bad. You shouldn't be eating vegetables. Okay. It should be pretty difficult, because that really is next tier level insanity. The conspiracy theory level that you have to be at to accept that is up there with flat Earth. It is up there with flat Earth, which, again, there's idiots who believe in that too. So the thing is, if you can be convinced of this, or do you hear it say, oh, yeah, and you just ignore all the data and evidence? Like, a perfect example, I've said that, and then people will come in the comments and see, like, well, you need to link some stuff. I'm like, you can't go look for a few minutes and realize this is overwhelming. Like, this would almost be like, I don't even have a good example. It's thousands of studies, everything. It is universal, meaning if a person were to just say, oh, I'm just going to randomly pick, I'm not even going to start, I'm just going to find random studies on this stuff. And let's see if I can find anything against vegetables in the research. Pick any country, doesn't have to be America, pick any country's research. And you go through, let's say you read through 100 random studies. Just pick anything. I don't need to link you anything. Go read 100 random studies, all 100 of them. There won't be like, oh, 10 say this and 90 say, no. It's going to be universally, ridiculously one-sided to the point where the other is a non-existent position. The research is overwhelming. There is no other argument. So when you have medical stuff that is in scientific literature that, irrespective of what generation, what decade, what country, what university it's done from, they all kind of, say the same things with the same basic idea. You know that there is no scientific argument. There is no argument against vegetables. So when a person can be convinced that this carnivore diet is good, which I see it in fitness groups all through my social media, it is a massive growing trend, unfortunately. People who accept it are essentially idiots. I mean, it's that bad. They essentially, in fact, and I hate to be this way, but people ask in the comments, well, maybe it's good for some people. You can't say everyone. Maybe there's, a third of people or something, it might be good. People are different. Different things work for them. Okay, that person, because we're literally talking about vegetables, essentially a requirement for basic health. That they are even making that statement. Like that person is dumb. I mean, and I'm saying that as politely as possible. You have to be a blithering idiot at that point to accept that possibility. I mean, and I'm not trying to be mean, guys, but what the point the person made was they're just killing off stupid people because only the bottom tier of really dumb people are going to fall for this. I'm like, wow. And that's a harsh way to look at it, but I guess there's a point where you go, I mean, if people are really that dumb and they're going to fall for it, it's almost hard to feel bad for them. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.